What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Season 2 is finally here for Call of Duty Vanguard, and with this we see a ton of new content, including a brand new lethal that is in the Battle Pass at Tier 39, and this is the Sticky Bomb, which is pretty comparable to the Semtex Grenade in previous Call of Duty games. So in today's video, I wanted to cover this Sticky Bomb to see how it stacks up against something like the MK2 Frag Grenade, which would be the closest comparable lethal. And let's not mess around, let's just dive right into it, and we'll start it off with the damage radius. It turns out with the MK2 Frag Grenade, the total radius at which you're able to deal damage to an enemy player is about 8.5 meters. Anything beyond 8.5 meters and it doesn't do anything to players. However, its one-hit kill potential, assuming the enemy is not running fortified, this is only about 2 meters, which is actually surprising to me. I thought it had a larger one-hit kill area than this, but yeah, it's just 2 meters with the MK2 Frag. As for the new Sticky Bomb, as you can see there, unfortunately, our maximum damage radius is only 6.5 meters, so it's not quite as big as the MK2 Frag Grenade. However, it turns out our lethal radius, again, against somebody that's not using Fortified, is right around 2 meters. So as far as I can tell, at least with my testing, both of these have the exact same lethal radius, but the Frag Grenade does have a larger total damage area. As for how these interact with somebody that's using the Fortified perk, it turns out neither of them are able to kill a Fortified player unless that player was hurt by some other source of damage as well. And with both of these, if it explodes directly underneath the player, so they're standing right on top of the grenade, you will only deal 80 damage to them. There is a damage clamp there, so you'll never deal more than that 80 damage. However, I did want to mention with the Sticky Bomb, if you stick a player that's using Fortified, you still can't get a one-hit kill, and I was surprised to see this. I thought that would still be a one-hit kill, and that's not the case. You will deal an extra 15 damage for that direct impact for a total of 95 damage, but that's not enough to get a kill on a full health enemy using Fortified. Additionally, I did want to have a quick look at the shield and how this interacts with these grenades. And the shield in this game is pretty interesting. If the grenade explodes in front of you, if a frag grenade or a Semtex like sticks on the ground in front of you, and you manage to get the shield between you and that grenade and you're crouched properly and everything, you won't take any damage at all. However, if a sticky grenade sticks to the shield, it will be a guaranteed kill on somebody that's not using Fortified, but if they are using Fortified combined with that shield, they will survive being stuck on the shield with that Sticky Bomb. So that pretty much covers it when it comes to the overall power and damage of each of these, but there are some other very important stats we want to have a look at. And the first one is the time that it takes to throw the grenade. How long is your gun going to be down for if you just want to quickly toss one of these as fast as possible? Keeping in mind this is without cooking the frag grenade. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. But assuming we just want to throw it as fast as possible, it turns out the throw time is exactly the same for both the frag as well as the sticky. Then when it comes to our minimum time to detonate the explosive, when it comes to the MK2 Frag Grenade, from the moment that pin is pulled, no matter what, it's going to take 4 seconds before it goes off. That's whether you throw it or hold it in your hand, it's going to take 4 seconds. Whereas with the Sticky Bomb, the fastest that we can detonate it, assuming we just throw it as fast as possible, we don't hold it in our hand at all, this is 2.35 seconds. Now, of course, with the Sticky Bomb, you can hold it in your hand forever if you wanted to after the pin is pulled, and it will never go off. But just for a fair comparison, the minimum time to detonate is 2.35 seconds. So if you want to be dealing damage to an area as fast as possible, the Sticky Bomb is the better option. Whereas with the MK2 Frag Grenade, you have more control over how much you want to cook it, but it's going to take you 4 seconds either way before that grenade is going to actually blow up. And just a quick note on this, since there may be some questions about this, the Sticky Bomb detonation time has nothing to do with when it impacts the surface. The timer on that will simply start the moment it leaves your hand. And what this means is you can airburst a sticky grenade. If you throw it up quite high, it will explode in the air without impacting anything. And finally, when it comes to the direct comparison here, let's have a look at our throw distance. Now, keep in mind, this isn't necessarily the maximum distance that you can throw it. I just made sure that I was standing in the same point. I had my reticle on the exact same spot as well. And at this exact angle, the Sticky Bomb will land about 20 meters away from me, and that's where it will explode. Whereas the MK2 Frag Grenade, you actually throw it a little bit farther. So it lands about 30 meters away, and then beyond that, it has the ability to continue rolling as well. So you have even more distance out of that. But even if we're just looking at the throw distance itself, the MK2 Frag will throw about 50% farther than the Sticky Bomb. And with that, that pretty much wraps it up for the direct comparison, the things that we can directly compare between these. Now I want to look at the individual characteristics of each of these grenades, because of course they have very unique characteristics. And this is where a lot of the choice will come down to, is more so the unique characteristics rather than the direct stat comparison. So when it comes to the frag grenade, of course, as we know, this doesn't stick to any surface, so it has the ability to roll. We also have the ability to bank it off of surfaces, so sometimes you can like bank it off a door jamb, for instance, if you know there's an enemy on the other side of the door. You can use that banking ability really effectively sometimes to put that frag grenade exactly where you want it without having to get a line of sight on the area where you actually want it to explode. Now, there are downsides to that as well. Sometimes if you throw a frag nicely toward an enemy player, and that player happens to be on a slope, sometimes the grenade will just roll away from that player and it won't deal the damage that you wanted it to do. Additionally, one of the big characteristics of a frag grenade, of course, is we have the ability to cook a frag grenade. And this means you hold it in your hand for a couple seconds. And the idea behind this is if you get the timing right, you can make it so that grenade explodes before the enemy has any time to react and try and get out of the damage radius. This can be incredibly helpful if you're good at getting that timing right. If you master the timing of a frag grenade, you can really take advantage of that cook time. But again, there is a downside to this as well, and that is the fact that no matter what, it's going to take 4 seconds to go off, and sometimes you want that explosion to take place a little bit earlier. A lot can happen in 4 seconds in a Call of Duty game, and many times by the time you actually get that grenade to explode, everything has changed and now you've just wasted your grenade. So again, this is an area where it's more of a characteristic. It does have pros and cons attached to it. And with that, now I want to have a look at the unique characteristics of the sticky bomb. The first one is obviously we can stick this to surfaces, which in many ways can give us more precision over where exactly we want that damage to originate from. So this can be great if you are trying to throw it on a slope, for instance, toward an enemy target. It's not going to roll away on you at all. Also, you're not going to get any like unlucky bounces off a wall where it bounces straight back at you or something stupid like that. You can stick it precisely where you want it. And the third benefit of having this sticky ability is you can stick it to enemy players. And if the enemy player isn't using the fortified perk and you stick them with a sticky grenade, they're going to die no matter what, unless there's some weird bug or something that takes place. That player is doomed no matter what because you stuck them. Now, on the flip side of that, of course, we lose the benefit of being able to bank a grenade around a corner like we have with the MK2 Frag Grenade. So again, there's pros and cons. It's mainly just the characteristic we're looking at. But on top of this, there's another unique characteristic and probably the thing that really tips the scales for me in the direction of the sticky bomb. And this is the fact that the timing of the explosion is simply much faster than a frag grenade. From the moment I decide to throw that sticky bomb to the moment it actually detonates, that's only 2.35 seconds, and therefore there's a lot less that can change in the game within that time window compared to a frag grenade with that 4-second cook time. And when it comes to my playstyle specifically, I like being fast and frantic, and I don't like standing there with a grenade in my hand for several seconds trying to get the perfect cook time out of it. I personally love the fact that with a sticky grenade, I just throw it, I forget about it, it's got a consistent detonation time, and it is going to be detonating quite quickly after I throw it. Now, that sort of thing is definitely not for everyone. Everybody's got a different playstyle and a different preference when it comes to using their equipment. And therefore, when it comes to my conclusion to this video, well, objectively speaking, the frag grenade does seem to have some pretty key advantages over the sticky bomb, such as a larger damage radius, which is a very important part of an explosive. At the end of the day, I really think it's the unique characteristics that are going to be the decision maker for most people. And when it comes to these characteristics, they're based almost entirely on preference and playstyle. And as a result, for me, it's the sticky bomb. I definitely see myself using this more than the frag grenade in the game, but I would also totally understand why many other people would lean much more in the direction of the frag grenade. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Now that you guys have seen this direct comparison between the frag and the sticky, which one do you see yourself using more often in Vanguard? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.